All right. Yeah, that was the play of the day, the play of the year so far. The Dolphins on the play called Boise. You've probably seen that a time or two over the last 12 to 15 hours. They took it from Boise State, from the Fiesta Bowl win over Oklahoma. It was designed to be one lateral.
Right.
And when Kenny Stills flipped it to Devontae Parker, Parker's supposed to run with it, but Parker had Kenyon Drake with a head of steam, and Rob Gronkowski was on the field, and Ryan Tannehill told me after the game that he was yelling, pitch it to Parker. Parker did. Adam Gase on the sidelines was upset because as designed, Parker's supposed to run the ball. They practice it every other week in walk-through setting, and it worked. And look, kudos to the Dolphins for making it work, but I think the big takeaway for me, Chris, the masters of situational football.
Yes, right.
The New England Patriots.
Yeah.
Why in the hell is Rob Gronkowski on the field when the Dolphins are nearly 70 yards away from pay dirt, and it's not going to be your traditional Hail Mary throw?
Yeah, I think that's the big question, and something we don't see New England mess up very much at all, if ever, really. But I guess they were playing for the Hail Mary. Now, I think that's where they messed up, though, Mike. I mean,
how does Bill Belichick do that?
Right.
You've got a theory about playing games in Miami.
I know.
Does Bill Belichick fall victim to that? Does he think it's a vacation yesterday?
Hey, it gets the best of everybody. There's something about going down to Miami and getting in that hotel room.
You say that all the time, though. And look, the Patriots have lost
fall asleep all the time.
5 or 6 games in Miami, and these are not Don Shula's Dolphins.
We saw the Bears fall asleep there, 4 or 5 weeks ago, too. But I guess at the end of the day, they did make a mistake. It's just as far as maybe scouting Ryan Tannehill. That's where you would start to go, wait, can he really throw the ball 70-plus yards to get it in the end zone here?
Apparently they thought he could, even though he's had his shoulder injury.
Right, I know. Well, that's what I'm saying. So that's where I would push back against the Patriots right now. Now, they thought, obviously, he could. That's why they put Gronkowski in. Why it's not a Josh Gordon in that instance, who we've seen on the field during these type of situations already this year, I think that is where I was a little surprised that he wasn't the guy there.
Is Gronk the hedge? Is Gronk the guy that, like, okay, we're going to go middle ground here? Because if it is a crazy play out in space that we think Gronk can go swallow the guy up, even though he couldn't?
I mean, I know your thought, but I'm also going, well, Josh Gordon's faster than he is. Yeah. We know that. So I know that's – and, okay, he's not as tall as Gronkowski, but he's not far off, and I would think his vertical leap is probably up there. We saw him on the field. I believe it was the Bears game when the Bears caught that ball and everybody on New England stayed on the ground. I think the weirdest thing to me, though, Mike, more than anything, is the fact that Devin McCourty wasn't on the field. And again, this is odd that we're even like being picking away at the Patriots.
But we would be making these complaints of any other team, and I think it becomes more glaring when a team that we always point to as the gold standard, the platinum standard, right? The titanium standard of situational football, that they screwed it up multiple times yesterday. That wasn't the only one they screwed up at the end of the half.
Right.
And we'll talk about the other problem, but let's make sure we exhaust this completely. I mean, they blew it. We say it with every other coach and every other team, and just because the Patriots have had such a great run over the last 18 years, when they blow it, number one, it becomes more significant, and number two, they deserve to be called out like anybody else would be.
Yeah, they do. They certainly do. And it's just that much more shocking when they do blow it. But the Devin McCourty thing is what's like shocking to me. First of all, Devin McCourty, arguably the fastest guy on their defense, right? I mean, we saw the interception pick six that he had against the Buffalo Bills a few weeks. I think the next gen stats or whatever had him as the fastest mile per hours we've seen all year. I'm just shocked. And he's a great open field tackler. I'm shocked he wasn't one of the guys in the back end there chasing him. But really, I think going back to a great word I like to use here lately, that was a microcosm of the day. Yes, it was, because the Patriots...
I'm glad you got it out of the way early.
Good. I wanted to get it out there. But the Patriots messed up things throughout that game that we just don't ever see them mess up. And that was just one play that kind of put the icing on the cake.
Well, and the mistake at the end of the second half, the Patriots have the ball on the Miami 2.
First half, right.
Right, at the end of the first half.
Right.
14 seconds left, no timeouts. They took the snap. Tom Brady gets sacked. The clock runs out.
Yep.
That's not a Patriots outcome.
That's like
and 27-21 was the score. Even if you get the field goal there, you're up 9 points going into the second half. The rest
then
of
they
that
get the ball
game,
in the second half and they drive down the field and miss the field goal. So those are the things like we're used to seeing them make those 6 or 10 point swings or do something like that, and they missed those opportunities. Really, at a chance there where they could have really put Miami in a tough spot to go, we're going in the half 30-21. You're in deep trouble, and we're getting the ball.
Is there an arrogance that creeps in that spot when you've got the ball on the 2 with 14 seconds left that you'll figure it out and they won't? You'll make it happen and they won't. You're either going to get the touchdown. They're not going to make a play. Yeah, we'll have a problem here if they make a play and sack Tom Brady, but they're not going to sack Tom Brady in this spot. We're gonna win this play.
Hey, the Patriots can be arrogant. There's no doubt about that, but they're usually not arrogant with like this type of situation. What I find shocking here is I almost feel like, did they just think Brady knew the situation and never communicated it to him? You know what I mean? Like, because even Brady got up, like he was like, oh gosh, wait, we don't have a timeout? Are you kidding me? Like, almost like, hey, you've been playing this 19 years.
Vacation time.
We don't need to tell you that there are no timeouts here. You know to throw
He's
the ball
distracted.
away.
Miami vacation.
I just found that to be an amazing moment for New England, who more times than not we see score touchdowns in that instance, but never or seldom see them miss the opportunity to at least stop the clock there, get the field goal, and have that end of the first half, start of the second half run that they're so famous for.
They weren't the only team leading a division in the AFC to lose. 3 of the 4 division leaders lost, and that's good news for the Patriots. Now, the bad news is we felt like they were going to slide into the number 1 seed. No, everything else is just details, and they still may.
Yeah.
Right? And they need it. Because at home this year they're 6-0.
Right.
On the road they are 3-4. Seeing the Patriots below 500 in anything is a stunner. 4 losses on the year, all coming on the road. They can't afford to have to go on the road in the postseason, Chris.
No, they cannot. There certainly seem to be a team that's built for home football, or at least ride that wave of energy that they get at home. It's rare to see them play so bad on the road throughout the year. I mean, the Jaguar game was underwhelming. The Tennessee Titan game was underwhelming. Miami, there were some good things they did yesterday. They made a lot of big plays in the pass game. They blocked 2 punts, but we saw their defense break yesterday, where we saw Frank Gore and Drake and everybody else have big plays throughout the day, which were things I certainly did not expect. So, yeah, there's obviously some issues there on the road. I don't know if there's anything like one area of their game I'd say slips up on the road. It's just they kind of underperform as a whole team.
They had a chance yesterday to clinch their 10th consecutive division title, and they likely still will.
Yes, of course.
Right? Yeah, I don't see the Patriots losing their final 3 games and the Dolphins winning their final 3 games and the Dolphins leapfrogging them. But yesterday's outcome was so stunning. And even though Tom Brady was 7-9 playing in Miami and they had lost 4 out of 5, but you know what? This time the Patriots know to take it seriously.
I really thought so, yeah. I'm with you. I mean, I just thought they're going to run the ball on the Miami Dolphins. They won't be able to stop it. I'd be shocked if the Dolphins can run the ball on them. They'll become one-dimensional. I mean, that's really how I saw the game kind of playing out. And, I mean, we started off the game with going, whoa, there goes Frank Gore in a huge run. Oh, there goes Frank Gore in another huge run. Next series, it was Brandon Bolden. I mean, it was just unbelievable kind of what events took place yesterday in that game.
There's a lot to say about the Steelers, but the most important thing moving forward, they host the Patriots next week, and the Steelers are coming off of 3 straight losses. The Patriots have now lost 2 out of 5, and the Patriots typically play the Steelers well in Pittsburgh. That is a huge game for reasons different from last year. Last year it was the precursor to the supposed rematch and who's going to have home field advantage. This year, the Steelers, if they lose, they got the Saints the following week. The Steelers are suddenly, the Patriots are on the verge of losing the 1 seed. The Steelers are on the verge of losing all seeds.
A playoff.
They may be out.
Right.
And we got a lot to talk about as it relates to the Steelers, but how loud will the cries in Pittsburgh be for dramatic change if a team that finagled a 6-game winning streak and seemed to be destined for great things in January ends up not in the postseason at all?
Yeah, I would think there would be big trouble in Pittsburgh. It'd be the first time where I would actually, if they went through a bad stretch here at the end of the season. Well, they're in the midst of a bad stretch, but don't finish strong. I think it's the first time where I would actually go into offseason going, ooh, okay, maybe Mike Tomlin's actually in trouble this time around.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.